Hi friends, host Eric here. Host Talking with Fan People, and Guy driving home to Mariposa from Oakland. Guy driving home to Mariposa from the side of the road where he pulled over because he had to pee so badly. Probably should have waited until later to do this part, huh? Okay, well, regardless, I'm going again now. I'm driving, and I'm driving fast enough speed that the guy behind me is not furious. Okay, alright, there, I'm going to 60, so it's a 2-lane road, nothing I can do about it. Anyway, it's 45 mile per hour speed limit, so you're just gonna have to deal with it. Anyway, that's not what this video is about at all. Silly Eric. Well, Eric gets silly when he's on mushrooms, you know. You may be familiar with that phenomenon occurring. I'm on mushrooms right now, and I'm not tripping nearly as hard as I would have expected, but I think it has to do with the fact that I took Klonopin yesterday, and Klonopin has a 72-hour half-life, and benzos cancel out tripping somehow. It's like, that's a terrible relationship for drugs to have with each other. Drugs are supposed to have a congregation effect. You're having a party. You invite more drugs to the party, you're supposed to have more drugs. You're supposed to cancel each other out. What the fuck is that? Anyway, that's not what this video is about. So, about probably an hour and a half. This is how I should have thought about it before. I was trying to figure out when I exactly ate the mushrooms. But, I should have figured out how long did I wait before I started eating the mushrooms. That was much easier to figure out. I waited about an hour and a half outside of Oakland to get out of the nasty Bay Area before I ate the mushrooms. Figured the rest of the drive would be easy enough, you know. And the total drive is about 3 hours on a Sunday, on a lovely Sunday like this, you know. But what that means is, of course, that I'm just entering now the good part of the mushroom trip. Because what I've determined, for me anyway, is that the first hour and a half of mushrooms is always pretty dark. The first hour and a half after you've eaten them. You feel like nauseous, and you have weird, like, kind of negative thoughts or something. And then it settles in and you're fine. That's my experience with it. Okay, fuckhead, Jesus. Do you really need... I get the message that you want to go faster than I'm going. Okay. Now go around me, asswipe. God. What an asswipe. Like, just give me a second, I'll pull over so you can go past me. I'm not gonna be stubborn and try to stay in front of you, be all slow, you know. You gotta give me a second. Look how gorgeous it is out here. Look at that scenery, right? That's some freaking scenery, alright. Of course, because I need to be. I've been the whole drive having a little miniature mushroom tantrum, or the last hour of the drive or so, because I had to pee. And because of the mushrooms, why I like mushrooms is because they let me be all my absolute values the way I want them, and plus toss in my unconscious absolute value. All of a sudden becomes like an extra tool for me, and that's wonderful. But because I'm in ET means I'm super retarded about other things, like going pee. So I tell myself, I realize I have to pee. I go, okay, well, pee when you get on this road that I'm currently on. And then I expect, of course, to not have to pee until then. Just to not have the sensation of having to pee until I arrive at my location where I've designated I'm going to pee. And it just continually annoys me. It's like, ah! I'll freak out. This is the point of this video in part. It does actually have a point. Is that something somebody said the other day, I think it was Jeremiah Fix, really stuck with me, and I found it very informative. When I'm explaining to people the way I am, it sounds to some people at least like I'm too good for those lower matters. No, I am not too good for those lower matters. I'm saying those are the things I suck ass at. They're not lower or higher, right? They're just the things I suck ass at. Society's to blame for placing intellectual stuff in just arbitrarily higher position than sensory stuff. There's no reason to place it thusly, right? But the thing is, of course, when I'm selling, which is correct understanding, is not anything anybody wants to buy, because if you're like most people, you don't need to understand things at all. And it's a deficit to understand things. I'll give you a perfect example of how stupid understanding things can be. So, when I actually got out of the car to go pee, finally, way too late, I had peed for such a long time, but I arbitrarily stuck with my stupid decision to wait till I got to this road, which is a completely arbitrary decision anyway, to pull over and pee, So I get out, and I go to the side, and I go, well, I guess I pulled off onto this little thing where there was like a railroad track access. I guess I'll go walk to the other side of the railroad tracks to pee. I don't have to worry about cars driving by so much. Or I can pretend like they're not seeing me, I guess. I'm better pretend that they're not seeing me. Then I stood over there, and I worked out as I was peeing what all the permutations of what would happen if a cop came and tried to bust me for peeing. And I realized I couldn't win the argument because I was clearly trespassing because I was on the other side of the railroad tracks. So that I understood by the time I was done peeing that if a cop were to come bother me for peeing, that I wouldn't bother arguing because I wouldn't be able to win the argument. Now, is that in any sane universe a desirable thing to understand that? No. I understood it. It was the wrong place to be understanding things, right? Obviously, a cop wasn't going to bother me. Obviously, if they did, it'd just be like, issue over, like, come on, dude, pee someplace else. Or something. They wouldn't be like arresting me for trespassing, you know. It's like, to which I would just be conceding silently my defeat because I'd already done all the argumentation ahead of time stupidly on something so meaningless, right? So the thing is, the beautiful thing about cognitive functions is they're non-normative. I'm the way I am. I'm the way I am. It doesn't matter if it's a good approach to things or a bad approach to things. That's the way I am, you know. It's not better than the way you are. It's not, it's just, but of course the thing is, the way I am, if you point me at over here, it's a wrong approach, right? But if you point me at exactly the right approach for the way I am, well then, great. Now, I'm understanding something that needs to be understood, I'm explaining something that needs to be explained, and I'm producing new understandings that can obviate harms regardless of whether you value understanding or not. And that's critical, right? It's like, I respect other people's agency, and I don't expect other people to value understanding. I don't expect them to value truth, even. I don't expect them to value being correct. I expect them to value something, right? And it's my job, because I'm an understander, to figure out, and a communicator, how to communicate the explanation in ways that they don't need to understand to benefit from. And that's where I'm really stuck, you know. But look, the thing is this, right? Remember that everybody's retarded. Every single person. Me too. Because why am I retarded? Here I am musing about explanations and understandings. Driving right through all of this glorious beauty and paying zero attention to it whatsoever or caring about it at all. I'm so retarded about myself that it didn't occur to me that maybe eating mushrooms before this drive or during this drive was a bad idea, except for one reason. There's only one factor I considered, which was, well, how much mushroom trip will I have left when I get home? That's why I waited in part an hour and a half to eat them after I got out of Oakland. What I didn't consider was the SI stuff, right? Like, I'd already determined, made a general rule, and remember it, and it would have popped up had it triggered a relevancy flag, right? That mushrooms can't make unfun things fun, and that you shouldn't try to do things on mushrooms. So, the problem is, this idea of mine today didn't trigger didn't trigger those because of a lack of relevancy. I don't consider driving to be either unfun or fun. It's neutral, it depends on my mood, you know? And I don't consider it doing something either. It's the thing that happens between doing things. So, since it wasn't relevant, didn't trigger any of my relevancy flags, obviously I wasn't unable to apply the general rule, mushrooms can't make unfun things fun, and don't try to do things on mushrooms, because this didn't violate those rules, you know. It's like, there's no reason for me to think of those because of the lack of relevancy to what I was considering doing, right? And in fact, it's been fine. My rules have proved correct, and my lack of relevancy triggering has proved correct. It was just this brief moment where I was like, oh, this is a terrible idea. But what I realized was, it was a terrible idea to just not pull over and pee right away when you needed to pee. When you no longer had to pee, you were no longer in such a foul mood. That's how retarded I am, right? It's like, I don't even realize, I think, like, I'm feeling so bad, and I'm hungry. Well, I guess I'll get some food, and then I'll deal with these bad feelings after I'm done eating. Not even thinking, not just like, oblivious to the fact that the reason I feel bad is because I haven't eaten, and that once I do eat, I will no longer feel bad, you know? That's how retarded I am about my sensations and feelings. Only INFJs are more retarded about their own subjective epistemologies than ENTPs. I mean, maximally retarded about SI is ENFJs. But they're less retarded about their FI, and on balance, less retarded about their subjective epistemology. And the thing is, we're each of us a specialist at some particular kind of job. And that's determined by our cognitive function stuff. I'm troubled by the fact that, like, I say things to explain, and other people think I'm saying them to posture or something. So clearly I need to explain better. Well, there's a lot of catch-22s involved, right? People YouTube for fun, not work, generally, right? They don't go, sometimes you'll look at a YouTube video to explain something to you, like, how do I fix my broken meow? But mostly people use YouTube as fun. So most people don't find incredibly dry, precise NTP lecture very fun, you know? They're going to find it boring, including me. Well, I don't watch any INTP videos. I find them boring. It's like, okay, you're just making me use my TI too much. That's work stuff. That's not fun stuff. You know. So the thing is, people want passion, authentic human experience as something they can consume. It's like a shortcut of having real experiences, right? Which I totally get. I'm a big believer in that, but I'm not very good at producing that, right? So I'm also apparently not very good at driving while making a video on mushrooms. Start going like 45 miles an hour. We're going slower and slower and slower. Because I'm talking. My foot, I say, this is a problem. I should have put the cruise control on a long time ago. So anyway, it's not like I drive badly on mushrooms or anything. It's that I drive badly when I'm focused on something more important. You know, which is always. If I'm having to focus on driving, the road's too windy. You know, I shouldn't have to pay any attention to driving to be able to do it. It doesn't feel like it. I'm paying any attention when I'm driving, because of course it's my 8th slot function, SE. It's my most unconscious function. So of course it's not going to trigger my relevancy tags, because I don't think of it as actually doing anything. You know, it's like, driving's not doing anything. Driving's the thing that happens to you between times when you do things. And the things that you're doing, of course, in my interpretation, are not actual things that you do at all. There are things like, to me, the last event that occurred was me figuring out that it would be futile to argue with the police officer. I would lose that argument because I was trespassing. That's the last action that was taken in my mind, right? Of course, zero action was taken at all. I just needlessly, pointlessly realized I wasn't going to win an argument about whether or not I could pee there, no matter how hard I tried, and I was doomed. And argumentationally. As far as I'm concerned, that's the last thing that was done, and I'm currently in the middle of doing something else, which is making this video. This driving stuff, I mean, I'm paying so little attention, even though I'm pretty familiar with where I am now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I haven't passed my street. But, it's like, yes, we all feel like the things we don't like are beneath us. Whether it's talk is cheap. Talk's beneath me. I'm an action guy. I'm a doer. Or whether it's paying attention to the scenery and where my road is and where I am and what I'm doing. I already turned off the map because I know where I am now, right? So I don't need to hear the map interfering with my talking when it's talking. I don't want it interrupting me with its talking, right? Except I'm not paying enough attention to where I actually am to really know where I am anymore. So I'm assuming I haven't hit Mariposa City yet. Or there's a sign up here. I'm very reliant on words and signs. So much so that, like, earlier today, I was trying to get back here from Oakland. I'm looking at the phone. It's telling me the picture is clearly go right here. But it's saying 23rd Street. Now I'm looking at the sign, it's 22nd Street. I'm like, well, I guess the picture's wrong. I guess it means I should go up to the next one. I look. I realized it's 22nd on this side and 23rd on that side. Then I turned right. Because I saw the words that confirmed that it was where the words they told me you should go. Not the picture, right? I don't trust pictures. Again, that's a form of me being retarded, not me being above something, right? It's like, I'm not too good for pictures. I'm retarded about them. I'm not too good for peeing. I'm retarded about it. I'm not too good for money. I'm retarded about it. I'm not too good for objects. I'm retarded about them. And I don't mean to convey to people the impression that I'm too good for that or something. That's not at all what I mean to convey. Because after all, I'm never trying to convey things about myself. I'm only conveying things about myself as a means of explaining other things. Occasionally I will be conveying things about myself. Like the other night when Cameron and Rachel and I were sitting there and I was saying, I'm frustrated, and I